Hello everyone, this is Dante. Welcome back to Dante Raids and the Beginner's Guide series. Today we're looking into how to gear revivers and tanks mainly. We'll do both today since more or less they need around the same stats. What we need from most reviver and tanks is to stay alive as much as possible and help the team with revives or buffs, or help the team stay alive in any way possible. For our example, we'll use Rector Drath today, because it's an epic and more easily accessible. It is also available for new players with the Apprentice Pass, I think, when you first create your account. So we'll do an example with her. Here, for example, you can see a Dragon Run with Rector Drath and 4 other rares. And Rector Drath is the one that is keeping the team alive, and if anyone dies, she will be the one to bring back the dead. This is not a fast run by any means, but if you take a notice at Rector Drath, you can see how much healing she's putting through the team, helping us staying alive, and of course, if needed, revive our champions. Before we get into the build, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it if you like it. It helps the channel a lot. Since these guides are mainly for newer players who just want to take notice today how to keep our champion alive and what damage mitigation is, how to take the least damage possible. As I always say, if we don't have too many options about gear, we care mostly about the stats first, and then we care about the sets. So if our account is very new and we don't have some special sets like regeneration or stone skin or protection or anything, we first take a look at our stats and then as a second priority the set. Now when it comes to revivers, when it comes to tanks, we mainly want them to stay alive. For the champion to stay alive, the basic stats we need are defense and HP. As I've said before, HP is our health pool, so it's basically our life, and defense is what protects our HP. So we need as much HP as possible, of course, and as much as defense as possible with some caveats. With this graph, we can see that as we put defense on our champion, damage is lowered really well, but when we get to around 2,500, it starts dropping a lot. And when we get to around 4,000 and above, it almost flatlines. So the more we put on our champion, it does nothing to the reduced damage. What we can take from this graph is that we don't have to put too much defense on our champion, because it doesn't help from a point on. If we can get our champion at around 4,000 defense, it's almost perfect. But HP is very important to have as much as possible. And of course, we can never forget that many damage dealers in the game have ignored defense effect, so it doesn't matter how much defense we have when they're ignoring it, but it does matter how much HP we have. So we want to build our Rector Drath. What we can look for to begin with. First of all, what I'm always trying to do, and I always suggest, is find speed in our build. Apart from damage mitigation, we can build our reviver very tanky, but if they never take a turn, they won't help us very much. Since we are looking for more early game builds, always start with speed boots. When looking in our speed boots, we're trying to get a set that is giving us something useful. For example, Stalwart. Stalwart gives us, if we can get 4 pieces on Stalwart, 30% decreased damage from AoE attacks. Very nice. Curing set. 20% bonus heal when our champion is healing. And also, bonus heal restores destroyed HP. Immortal. We can get this from ClanBoss every day. Very nice set, very useful, because with 2 pieces we can get more HP, which is very important for our reviver and tanks, and also heals our champion by 3% every turn. So the more turns we take, the best is for us and easier to stay alive. Also, Divine Life, something we can get from Classic Arena. It gives us HP and shield. Resilience, some of the early game sets that we can get from Forge just by doing faction war. It gives us also HP and defense. It gives us the 2 main stats we need for our champion to stay alive. Let's try the resilience. Now, from our boots, from our chest and gloves, again we need HP and defense. Since we got ourselves a resilience piece, let's see if we have another one. We can see that we have a defense chest in resilience. We can see it gives us both defense and HP. Of course, this is not one of the best pieces, because as a substat it gives us speed, but crit rate and crit damage are really not that important for Rector Drath. But let's pretend we don't have other choices, because it is a newer account. So let's try this. Now for gloves. Since we already put a defense chest, I would suggest now we remove the defense from our filter, search just for HP. Let's see if we have another good set to put in here. Protection is a variable set. Let's see what it gives us. Even with 1 piece it gives us resistance. If we can get 2 pieces, it gives us HP. Seems very helpful for our build. This is a much better piece. It has speed in the substats, resistance and some HP. Now for the top pieces, let's try some substats, because the main stat is always the same. We need speed. We always need speed. The more speed we have, the best it is. And let's search for some HP. Let's try to get a good piece in protection to match with our gloves. Let's get the priority. Let's try to get some speed and HP. Go down to protection. We have much speed, less HP. Here we get this one. Let's try this. Remove it from our filter. And now for the 2 last pieces, we'll try to get some more speed, some HP. Let's put some random gear. Let's pretend we don't have too many options. We don't want to build an amazing champion right now, an endgame build. Here we have speed, some HP. We have also crit rate that we don't need, but that's all that we have. Now when it comes to accessories, we want more or less the same. So we have defense as a main stat, and defense and HP mainly as a substat. Very helpful. When it comes to amulets, amulets can be HP, attack, defense or crit damage. Again, we don't want attack or crit damage for our Rector Drath, so we can get any piece we need, we want. Again, defense, HP, some resistance is always helpful. And most importantly, our banner. Here is that we can have speed as a substat. So we can always search HP, defense. If we don't have a good banner with HP or defense as a main stat, or we want more resistance in our build, we can always choose resistance and see what we have there. For example, this piece. With this kind of build, with basically random gear, just looking for stats, we can see our champion has 72,000 HP, pretty good for even mid-game builds. Defense more than 3,500 and a respectable speed. With this kind of build, we can stay alive in PvE and at many times in PvP battles. She will help us very much when it comes to masteries. Some more notable masteries are, for example, Timely Intervention. Increases this champion turn meter by 20% whenever an ally hero drops below 25% HP. That means that if our allies are taking hits or are dying, our reviver basically takes a turn faster so they can heal us or revive us faster. Another one, lasting gifts. When our champion has buffs, for example, Rector Drath has Veils, has a 30% chance to extend the duration of our buffs. Very important. Spirit Haste. If our allies die, we get more speed. Again, like Timely Intervention, we get faster, we get more turns, so we can revive faster our allies. Lord of Steel, always very important, very useful. Depending on our sets, it gives us more stats. Healing Savior, we get more healing. Rapid Response, when our champion has buffs, we get more turn meter. Lay of Hands, we get more healing. Steadfast, we get more HP. When it comes to the defense tree, here we have defense and resistance as main stats, and many defense and many damage mitigation masteries, like Blastproof. It decreases the damage taken by AoE attacks. Here, Mighty Endurance, we decrease the damage received by 10% if we are under stun, sleep, or freeze debuffs. Improved Parry, we decrease the damage received by this champion when we get hit by critical hits. We have a lot of options, and according to what we need, we choose one. One of my favorites is Resurgent. Has a 50% chance to remove one random debuff from this champion when they lose 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy skill. This is very important, especially in PvP, because if they stun us or put a debuff on us, if they hit us very hard, we have a very good chance to remove that stun and take a turn. Delay death reduces the damage this champion receives from a specific enemy. Each hit taken from that enemy. We can stack that up to 6%. Cycle of Revenge. We have a 50% chance of increasing the turn meter by 50% when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. We'll only increase the turn meter once if an ally receives multiple critical hits from a single skill. Again, we get more turn meter, we get some turns faster. If for some reason we don't want, of course, Timely Intervention, we can get here Bulwark, for example, decrease the damage all lives received by 5%. This champion will receive that damage instead. So if our tank slash reviver is very tanky, we can get this mastery and help our team stay alive longer. Now, if we do have some choices when it comes to sets, it always depends what we want to do, of course, with our champion. For example, this build, we have a very simple regeneration set that heals our champion by 50% every turn. And we complement it with a Defiant set that has 2 pieces. It gives us more defense and it increases 50% the damage taken from enemy AoE attacks. It helps us stay alive more and heals us every turn. The reaction accessories gives us a chance to change critical hits into normal hits when attacked before the first turn. Regeneration set, of course, is mainly used in PvE, not in PvP sets. If we wanted to use Rector Drath in PvP, for example, the best set for her would be Stone Skin. Here is an example with Stone Skin gear. For example, we have 6 pieces of Stone Skin and 2 pieces of Defiant. So even if after the 2 turns of Stone Skin expired, we have the extra AoE damage mitigation from the Defiant set. Always remember that with variable sets we can get accessories from them, so we can complement the rest of the build with gear sets. A better build for PvP, of course, could be something like this. 6 pieces of stone skin, we have 2 turns of stone skin, so we can die. But since we have champions like Georgette, for example, or He-Man that can ignore stone skin, we can get some reaction pieces, we can get some reaction accessories, so we can prevent the enemy to kill us through stone skin. So for example, with 3 pieces of reaction accessories, we have 75% chance to get any critical hit to normal, so we won't die. But talking again about stats versus sets, for example, we got some random pieces, to be honest, when it comes to stone skin, that are substats are really not that great for this champion. For example, this helmet has nothing, almost nothing that we need as a substat. So our stats are really very lower compared to the one we had before. So if we get this build in PvE to get us through Dragon or Doom Tower or anything, this build is actually much worse than the one we had before with random pieces but better stats. So as a general rule, personally, I think stats over sets always. Speed is the most important stat for every build, for every champion. 200 is a minimum even for early accounts. So we try to get our reviver, our tank, or everyone at a respectable speed. We want our champion to stay alive, so we need first of all HP, then defense. As we said, the goal is around 3,000 to 4,000 defense for early to mid game, and around 4,500 to 5,000 for more endgame builds. Special sets, if we have them, it is better for us, and it is always dependent on the area of the game we want to beat. For example, for PvE, for Dragon, for Doom Tower, for Sintranos, we want a regeneration set, we want Immortal, Defiant, some resilience pieces that help us heal and stay alive. For PvP, in Arena, Classic Arena, Siege or Live Arena, Stone Skin is the most important set. It gives us the opportunity to stay alive for 1 or 2 turns almost always, and some reaction accessories are always welcome. I left Masteries for last because, in my opinion, although they are important and make our champion much stronger, they are not as important as for damage dealers, for example. Here we can see our team. As before, Rector Drath and some of the rares, trying to beat Ice Golem, some of the most annoying bosses that can actually hurt us really much. There's also negative affinity to the boss, but in our simple build with regeneration set and some resistance, some HP and defense, she can stay alive and keep our team safe. I hope this guide was helpful for some of you. If you have more questions or need more help with builds, or have questions on some builds or how to build your champions, don't forget, you can always leave comments below and ask me about it. I will try to answer everyone or make a video about it. That's it for today. Don't forget to like the video, share it if you want, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot. Until next time, take care.